the channel, and today we're going to be installing this beautiful hardwood floor. I'm just kidding. This stuff ain't real. What we have here is called vinyl sheeting, and it's coming very popular these days. You can get it in a variety of color and styles, just like this old barn wood, stone, rock, any color of wood, any layout of wood, and a lot of other styles that I don't know the names of. But not only that, but it's extremely durable and easy to install. Stay tuned in and I'll show you what I mean. Actually, I'll just show you right away. So we're going to get started installing this thing, and the first thing we got to do is get everything in this laundry room out. Alright, I'm going to have you tune back in just a little bit. Alright guys, to start off this project, you want to make sure you sweep the entire area, get all the dust and debris that might be on your floor off of it. Anything that's going to comprehend your adhesive, you want to make sure that it's off your floor. And since I'm working with a concrete floor, I just want to make sure that there's no grease or anything, so I'm going to go ahead and mop it too. I got a drain right in the middle, so it's pretty easy just to clean up. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. So mopping's not too bad when you got a drain in the middle of the floor. So I want to go over the main reason why I'm using this vinyl sheeting instead of those clipped together planks. The main reason is because of this drain. The floor in this laundry room is sloped pretty bad, and that's because of the drain. And it makes sense because you want the water to go towards the drain. But that makes it really hard to lay flooring in. So if I put my level down, you can see that right about here is where the ground is level. And that's a good 2.5 inches from that point to this point. If I were to try and put that vinyl planking in here, snapping it together, it's going to lift off the ground a little bit. And whenever you step on here, it's going to clack down. And it's not really going to provide a good seal. So that clip together stuff isn't really an option. But there is such thing as peel and stick too. But again, with my floor being this sloped, I don't think that would work very well either. The seams on the stickers aren't going to line up correctly. It's going to look a little bit goofy. And over time, I think that they're going to separate. So my best option is just this vinyl sheeting. All I have to do is lay it out, and then it'll be completely covered, and it'll still connect to the floor to where I'll still have the slope towards the drain. So before our next step, we gotta wait for this to dry. Again, I don't think you have to mop it, but since it was that easy, this was a pretty dirty area with a lot of fuzz and sticky material, so I just wanted it to be completely clean for our adhesive to give a good stick to the cement and the vinyl sheeting. So we're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna go grab a beer. And the next step is going to be actually placing this carpet on the ground. Okay guys, so the floor is all nice and dry. We're ready for our vinyl sheeting on top of it. But before we go, if you have a drain or something like me, say a toilet seat or something where you need to cut into your vinyl after you lay it down, you want to make sure that you take a measurement on it so that you are able to find it once the vinyl is down. So we're just going to go ahead and take some measurements here against the wall. All I'm going to do is grab a measurement from this wall, 4.5 feet, on that wall, and then over here we're going to take a measurement, and that's 7 feet there. So all I have to do is remember 4.5 and 7.5, or 4.5 and 7, and then I'll get my location right here. From there I'll be able to find this and then cut it out at a later point. It's really important to measure this because you don't want to cut in your carpet and then find out it's in the wrong area. But alright, we're all set. Time to glue this baby down. So now we're actually in for the hardest part, and that's just actually laying it down, which can be kind of hard because how do you position it correctly when you're standing on top of it? So we're going to end up taking a corner of this thing and then lining it up correctly and hopefully being able to roll it out, and then hopefully that is the right position that we want it in. Now the worst part, as you can see over here, I do need to shift this whole thing that way. Alright, I think this looks pretty decent to me. So pretty much what I'm looking for is just a general little overlap, at least everywhere around this area. You want to make sure that when you're buying this stuff that you are compensating and getting extra than what you actually need. That means if you have a 10 by 10 foot area that you want, you probably want at least an 11 by 11 foot sheet so that you have a general overlap over everything in your room. But so far this looks pretty good. I can feel my drain is right here. This is where I'm going to end up cutting out later. We have a good overlap everywhere I can see. Over there is where we're going to stop. All my utilities are over here. I'm not going to be covering that up. That will remain concrete. And I think this looks pretty good to me. So we're going to start gluing this thing down now. So now that we're almost ready for the glue, you want to make sure that if you're going around any pipes or something like this, just go ahead and cut this beforehand. That way when we put the glue down, it can just go around it. And now that that's settled, it's time to bring out the glue. Okay, so before we actually glue it down, you want to make sure you go ahead and get a trowel like this. You're going to want to go ahead and read the directions on your tub of glue. I know reading directions suck, but you want to make sure that you have the right size trowel for your job. As you can see, this one has a lot smaller teeth than a grout one would. But since we're good, we're going to go ahead and pull this vinyl back. We're going to pull it back about 50% of the way, so that way we can get 50% of this laminate glued down. And since we have it placed where we want it, when we push it back, when the glue is all done, it should be perfectly set to where we want it. So this is about my halfway point. I'm going to put glue all over this, and then we'll just flip this back and then do the same as the other side. I swear, it's impossible for me to keep clean. So I'm at my halfway point, so what I'm going to do now is flip this side over, right onto the glue, and then flip this side back on top of the glued side, so then that way we can glue this side down. And that's how it's done. We got this side down. Before we do the next half, I gotta quick do a getting glue off my hands break. Time for the second half. Alright, we can see our glue right here, the edge of it, so we're gonna stop pulling it back and then lay glue down here. Flip it back. Oh my god, I can't wait to be done. I hate glue. Alright. Personally, I think the best way is to just hold it up, slowly walk it forward, especially if you have such a big area like this. If you're doing like a small bathroom or something, it's easier. Just make sure that it doesn't flop over and get in your glue. Whew, that was a lot of work. So we finally got our vinyl sheeting down and it's all glued. So I'm going to give this a little bit of time to actually set up and then harden before we start cutting off and trimming the edges. Ugh, I even got glue all over my camera stand. I can't win today. Ugh, and the camera. Okay guys, I did give this a couple hours to dry and now I'm ready to get all this excess off. We obviously don't need this up here. And what's super nice about this vinyl is that you can just get a box cutter and cut it super easily. So just take your time, go along nice and easy. Just go in the corner.
and then you got a nice even piece like this. Trim will go up here, cover it, and it'll look perfect. Okay, so it's time to do my drain. If you remember, we have our measurements off each wall. That's how we could locate this. Another way we could do it is, since this is such a big opening, it's pretty easy to tell where it is. So I'm just going to make a cut right in the middle and then slowly work our way out. We don't want to cut too far in a direction, so we're just going to do it really nice and slow and make sure that we don't cut off too much. Make sure this fits. Alright, I got it to fit now, and then obviously you can see that we do have some cracks. We don't want that there, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some caulk. There we go. We're going to let that dry. Not my finest work, but that'll work. So there's my video on the vinyl sheeting. As you can see, I got it in full use and it's holding up extremely well. So I gotta make sure I get all this glue off my camera stand, and you guys have a great one. I'll see you on the next project.